विज्ञान भवन, जहां बाघों के संरक्षण पर एक सम्मेलन का आयोजन किया जा रहा है, जिसे अब कुछ ही देर में प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी संबोधित करेंगे। ये तीसरा एशिया मंत्री स्तरीय सम्मेलन है जिसका आयोजन यहाँ किया गया है और फिलहाल इस वक्त प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी इस मौके पर पुरस्कार वितरित कर रहे हैं। बाघों के संरक्षण को लेकर भारत काफी समय से कई ठोस कदम उठा रहा है, जिसे लेकर काफी सराहना भी की जा रही है और इस दिशा में जिन लोगों ने महत्वपूर्ण कार्य किया है उन्हीं को यहाँ पर पुरस्कार दिए जा रहे हैं।
And with an aim to achieve this objective, Satpura authorities have been able to successfully rehabilitate 37 villages. The next category is active management, and in this category the award goes to Kanha Tiger Reserve, Madhya Pradesh. Receiving the award, Mr. Jasbir Singh Chauhan, the Field Director, Kanha. The Kanha Tiger Reserve Management, after intensive habitat interventions in village vocated sites, have successfully captured, translocated and released ungulates in these areas without any mortality. Further, the Kanha management has also translocated Indian bison to the Bandhavgarh Tiger Reserve. The next category, ladies and gentlemen, is community participation in ecotourism, and in this category the award goes to Parambikulam Tiger Reserve, Kerala. Receiving the award, ladies and gentlemen, Shri Pramod Krishnan, Field Director of Parambikulam. Community-based ecotourism initiative at Parambikulam include novel packages like treetop huts, island nest, elephant zone trekking trails, and nature camps, which have been appreciated here by the Honorable Prime Minister. The next category, ladies and gentlemen, is conservation of species other than tigers in tiger reserves, and the award goes to Kaziranga Tiger Reserve, Assam. Receiving the award, Shri Rajendra Gadavar, the conservator of forest, Kaziranga. Kaziranga was declared as a tiger reserve in 2007 when the population of the eastern swarm deer was just 68, and now, ladies and gentlemen, it has multiplied to almost 1,855 rhinos. So many congratulations to the awardees. And now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you to the Honorable Prime Minister for doing the honors. On this occasion, ladies and gentlemen, we also have release of a joint report on the status of tigers in Sundarban landscape. May I once again request the Honorable Prime Minister to please release the book, and requesting the Honorable Minister to kindly present the first copy to the Honorable Prime Minister for the release. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the first joint scientific assessment by India and Bangladesh on the status of tiger in Sundarban landscape using a common standard scientific protocol and unraveling the ecological aspects of this unique and less known tiger population. This report should be of immense value to the people who are working for tiger conservation in the Sundarban landscape. The report presents various recommendations for the governments of both the countries to collectively build on conservation strategies that can address the threats outlined in the report. Thank you to the Honorable Prime Minister for releasing this report. And in fact, congratulations to both the countries, Bangladesh and India, who have jointly presented this report. And ladies and gentlemen, as we said, this conference seeks a dynamic leader and a global leader who has the will, the intent, and the charisma to take forward this mission of protecting and saving the tigers. So please join me, ladies and gentlemen, as I now request one of the most revered, respected, and highly looked up to global leader of our present times, our Honorable Prime Minister, Prime Minister Modi.
Minister for Agriculture and Forests, Royal Government of Bhutan, and Chairman Global Tiger Forum, distinguished ministers from Tiger Range countries, Sri Prakash Javadekar, our Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, other dignitaries on the dais, delegates from Tiger Range countries, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to welcome you all. The tiger has brought all of us together here. This is an important meeting to discuss the conservation of one of the important endangered species. Your very presence is a testimony to the importance your country attaches to this umbrella among species. As we all know, the tiger is an apex consumer in the ecological pyramid and food chain. It requires a large amount of prey supported by good forests. Therefore, by protecting the tiger, we protect the entire ecosystem and the ecological services which are equally crucial for the well-being of human beings. In fact, the benefits from tiger conservation are enormous but intangible. We cannot quantify this in economic terms. Putting a price tag on a nature, I don't think it's wise, and it's very difficult. Since Mother Nature has bestowed them for its own conservation, it becomes our bounden duty to conserve them. In India, the tiger is much more than just a wild animal. In our mythology, the mother goddess, who is embodiment of Mother Nature, is depicted sitting on a tiger. In fact, most of our gods and goddesses are associated with some animal, tree, or river. In fact, sometimes these animals are put on the same pedestal as gods and goddesses. No wonder the tiger is also our national animal. I'm sure other tiger range countries would have some cultural legacy associated with tigers. Friends, species belonging to the animal kingdom usually do not act to their disadvantage. However, human beings are an exception. Our compulsions and cravings, our needs and greed have led to shrinkage of natural habitat and destruction of ecosystems. Here I recall the famous words of Gautam Buddha, who said, "The forest is a peculiar organism of unlimited kindness. It offers protection to all beings, offering shade even to the X-man who destroys it." I appreciate the good efforts made by the tiger range countries in conserving tigers. I compliment you all for this great ongoing efforts. I also appreciate the efforts through Global Tiger Initiative and the Council. I must mention the great effort made by Mr. Vladimir Putin in convening the Tiger Summit in 2010. The Global Tiger Recovery Program was an important outcome of these efforts. I also appreciate the initiatives of Mr. Dorji, the chairman of the Global Tiger Forum. However, from what I have been told, it appears that tiger habitats have reduced drastically across tiger range countries. The situation has been aggravated further by the ongoing trafficking in body parts and derivatives of this magnificent animal. In India too, we have been facing the challenge of poaching and disruption in their ecosystems. The positive side for us in India is that majority of the population respect trees, animals, forests, rivers, and other elements of nature like the sun and God, moon. They consider the earth as our mother. Our scriptures encourage us to treat the entire universe as one Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam and Lokah Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. This is our philosophy. We pray for peace and prosperity of everyone, including the ecosystem. Om Dyom Shantihi, Antarik Shantihi, Prithvi Shantihi, Rapah Shantihi, Raushadaya Shantihi, Vanaspataya Shantihi. Friends, forests are inseparable from wild animals. Both are mutually complementary. Destruction of one leads to destruction of other. This is an important cause of climate change, which is now affecting us adversely in many ways. This is a global phenomenon which all of us are grappling with. As a solution, we have committed to work towards country-specific mitigation strategies. In my view, for the tiger range countries, a viable tiger population undoubtedly symbolizes a mitigation strategy for climate change. This will create a huge carbon sink in the form of tiger-bearing forests. Thus, conservation of tiger will go a long way in ensuring a good future for ourselves and our coming generations. India has a long-standing and successful track record for protecting its tigers. We launched Project Tiger in 1973. Its coverage has increased considerably from the initial 9 tiger reserves to 49 at present. Tiger conservation is a collective responsibility of the Government of India and states. I also compliment our state governments for their efforts. But the efforts of government cannot succeed unless they are supported by the people. Our cultural legacy which encourages compassion and coexistence, has played an important role in the success of Project Tiger. Due to such collective efforts, there has been a rise of 30% in the numbers of tigers. It has gone up from 1,706 in 2010 to 2,226 in 2014. Our National Tiger Conservation Authority has taken many landmark initiatives. Use of modern technology, including intelligent, infrared, and thermal cameras on 24/7 basis is being promoted for surveillance against poaching in sensitive tiger reserves. Several protocols for smart patrolling and tiger monitoring have been evolved. Radio telemetry is also being promoted to monitor tigers. A national repository of tiger camera trap photo database is also being created. To do all this, we have this year doubled our allocation for tiger conservation. We have increased it from rupees 185 crores to rupees 380 crores, which is 3.8 billion rupees. I strongly believe that tiger conservation or conservation of nature is not a drag on development. Both can happen in a mutually complementary manner. All we need is to reorient our strategy by factoring in the concerns of the tiger in sectors where tiger conservation is not the goal. This is a difficult task, but can be achieved. Our genius lies in smartly integrating the tiger and wildlife safeguards in various infrastructures at the landscape. This essentially takes us to the much needed smart green infrastructure while adopting a landscape approach. The landscape approach would also help us to involve business groups through corporate social responsibility for various initiatives toward tiger conservation. In the Indian context, we intend to achieve this through the tiger conservation plans. Considering the ecosystem value of tiger conservation areas, we need to consider them as natural capital. Our institutions have done an economic valuation of a few tiger reserves. This study has highlighted that the fact that besides conserving the tiger, these reserves also provide a range of economic, social, cultural, and spiritual benefits. These are known as ecosystem services. Thus, we need to define conservation as a means to achieve development rather than considering it to be anti-growth. This calls for factoring in the value of the ecosystem in the economic arithmetic of development and growth. Friends, I'm confident that we can achieve a framework to foster proactive engagement of industry for conservation. The natural capital, denoting the stock of natural ecosystem, should be treated at par with capital goods. Our economy needs to be viewed as a subset of a larger economy of natural resources and ecosystem services which sustain us. As a country having more than 70% of the global tiger population, India is committed to complement the initiatives of other tiger range countries. We have bilateral arrangements with China, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh. We hope to continue our efforts to address issues of mutual concern for the tiger. A major threat to the tiger is the demand for its body parts and derivatives. The forest and its wild denizens are an open treasury which cannot be locked up. It is painful to learn about trafficking of body parts and derivatives of tigers and other big cats. We need to collaborate at the highest level of government to address this serious issue. India, along with several tiger range countries, is a founder member of the Global Tiger Forum, which is headquartered in New Delhi. This is the only intergovernmental organization of its kind. It is now working closely with the Global Tiger Initiative Council. As a host country, I assure you of our fullest support. We will also be happy to support capacity building of wildlife personnel at the Wildlife Institute of India. The tiger range countries are signatories to other international conventions to address international trade on endangered species. In this regard, I want to give you another good news. We are moving towards formally adopting the statute of South Asia Wildlife Enforcement Network. At the end, I would like to emphasize that conservation of tiger is not a choice. It is an imperative. I would also like to emphasize that regional cooperation is essential for combating wildlife crime. In this conference, let us resolve to work together to protect the tiger and its space. India is committed to engage with all tiger range countries for this purpose. I appreciate your presence, and with this conference, all success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister, sir, for sharing with us your visionary approach towards protecting this animal and giving a clarion call to all the countries to come together and have a concerted effort towards protecting the animal and harmonizing conservation and development. Thank you, Prime Minister, sir, for guiding this August gathering, extending your leadership to the summit. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to express our heartfelt thanks, gratitude, and appreciation to the Honorable Prime Minister by presenting a memento, a remembrance of this very special day also. May I request the Honorable Minister, Shri Prakash Javadekar ji, to please present this memento. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a very special memento which is being presented to the Honorable Prime Minister. As you can see, this is a painting of the tiger. A special painting which is being presented to the Honorable Prime Minister, remembrance of this very special day and the efforts which we are taking towards conserving and preserving the tiger.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaking at the 3rd Asia Ministerial Conference on Tiger Conservation. Prime Minister Modi inaugurating the 3-day event that has the representation of all tiger range countries. The The Prime Minister there was saying about how tiger conservation is not a choice but an imperative, and that how important it is for the ecosystem, and if not done so, it is leading to climate change, and that has become a global phenomenon. The Prime Minister there also said that India is committed to working together for this goal of tiger conservation with all the tiger range countries. This 3-day event, in fact, will discuss issues like landscape conservation and habitat management, tiger reintroduction, monitoring protocols, anti-poaching strategy, and modern tools and technology. So a lot more on the agenda in this third Asia Ministerial Conference on tiger conservation. It's a 3-day event that the Prime Minister has just inaugurated in the national capital.